Could you spell your last name? You got it.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, at about 9 o'clock this morning, committed a series of crimes in the Hollenbeck area of Los Angeles Police Department. A group of citizens observed these crimes and attempted to apprehend the suspect. He was chased into the sheriff's jurisdiction in East Los Angeles, where deputies were called. They responded to the scene and arrested the individual. He was then immediately turned over to Hollenbeck detectives for the series of crimes in their area. Fingerprint comparisons have been made here at Hollenbeck, and we're happy to announce that the individual we have in custody is Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker. That's all.
Later on, once we have the opportunity of interviewing the witnesses who are here, we'll have another statement to make later time. As many particulars as we can, but right now, that's all we can say.
Do you have any idea when that'll be?
We can't make any
further statements be made here in Hollenbeck?
I don't know. We'll keep you apprised of any change in the location, whatever we might do. But to understand, we're right down to the really beginning.
Can you say where the suspect was arrested?
We can only say it was on Harbor Street in
About 9 o'clock this morning, there was a notification, a couple of crimes being committed. Some witnesses observed the suspect and chased him over into the county territory. He has been injured to some extent. I don't know how serious those injuries are. The sheriffs were called. They took the suspect into custody, brought him over here to Hollenbeck Station, where he was positively identified as the suspect known as the Night Stalker. Right now, our people are talking to him. He'll be interviewed by the other county sheriffs and subsequently moved, and that probably will be 2 to 3 hours.
Is this case now over as far as looking for a suspect?
He's the suspect we've been looking for. So now comes all the work of tying him in to all of the other crimes that we're looking at. So it's going to be quite an extensive investigation.
What were the crimes that he was committing?
Someone said that.
I can't give you that at that time. We'll come out later with a full statement as to what was occurring this morning.
Can you talk about
that might come out?
As soon as he's moved.
the atmosphere
that 2
that
to 3 hours.
Right.
the atmosphere that
Those of us standing in the back there, we didn't hear you.
Oh, I'll say it again.
Tell us.
Well, I thought you already had it the first time.
No. Where's it going to be taken?
beginning, when you first came out, what did you say?
Okay. I wasn't paying attention.
About the case
No.
being over.
Oh, well, in as much as the suspect is in custody now, it's a matter of checking with all the evidence we have, making comparisons, and what we find out from the interview and some other evidence we will hopefully pick up. But right now, we're not going to be making any statement regarding any of the past cases. All we will talk about later today will be what happened this morning, how he was arrested, and whatever names we can release at that time. But I'm talking about 2 to 3 hours before that move is even made.
But it's
Can you
definitely the man.
He is the man, yes.
Dan, can you talk about the atmosphere?
What happened this morning? Is that going to be made here or in front of center?
It'll be made here. Right after he's moved, then we'll have a statement for you.
What's that route again?
That's the best I can give you.
Dan, can you talk
What's the
about?
route again?
We're coming at the back gate.
Uh-huh.
Whatever that's was St. Louis.
Yes, sir.
We're turning left in St. Louis, turning right on First Street, and driving west on First Street.
Lieutenant,
We'll have the area blocked off for you. We'll tell you where you can all stand. You draw an imaginary line. The first one that slips over it will shoot your lenses out.
Lieutenant Cook,
Otherwise, there's no deal.
can you talk about the atmosphere that was the scene down there when he was arrested? It sounded like the citizens had sort of, I don't want to took the law in their hands, but they certainly apprehended him, it seemed like.
I can't go into the details of their attitude. I don't know, for one thing, but whether they knew who he was, I really can't tell you.
And where did the arrest take place again? Was it Indiana and
We haven't
Whittier?
we haven't released the information.
Did you say you detectives are talking to him now?
We are interviewing now.
Was he
You and
arrested?
the sheriff's detectives, or both?
LA police detectives are talking to him now. The sheriffs will interview him.
How about
following.
any other agencies going to be down to talk to him? San Francisco, here, or?
I just got a call from Orange County Sheriff's. Arrangements will be made for them. As to what time, I don't know
Was
yet.
he armed when he was arrested?
I don't know.
Any idea, I mean, is he going to be booked at Stalker Center or County Jail?
That depends upon the results of his injuries. He may remain at County USC Medical Center, but that hasn't been determined yet.
Is he badly injured?
Well, he was treated by rescue ambulance to begin with, so
Where on his body?
head and hand.
Head?
Yeah.
What type of injury
I
to the head?
don't know. I can't.
Dan, was anybody else injured?
I have no idea.
Was any resident injured or citizen
We'll
injured?
have a full and complete statement as best we can later.
How much longer?
Whenever they're ready.
Not only LAPD, but the LA Sheriff's Department, the Orange County Sheriff, every law enforcement agency working together in close partnership that finally has tracked down this man that all now concludes is the killer.
Mayor Bradley,
And
are you
it's
here?
a great relief to the people.
Why are you here, Mayor Bradley?
I'm here. I want to compliment our officers. I think they did a magnificent job.
Are you here also to perhaps look at this man and even speak with him?
I don't expect to get into the questioning of this suspect. That's for the officers, and I really want to say congratulations to our men. Say how happy we are that at long last the people of all of California can breathe a sigh of relief tonight.
Mayor, do you have any concerns? There's a lot of anger among the people who gathered here directed at this suspect. Do you have concerns here for the crowd that's gathered?
No, I don't. I think these people are here to rejoice that this man has been captured. Obviously, they and everybody else is angry at the man, but I think that he's going to be taken away to security at the hospital where he can be treated, and police are going to protect his life. I don't have any concern about that.
Mayor, you praised the citizens who helped apprehend him. There's also where the citizens kind of beat him up. Are you endorsing that kind of citizen
Listen,
action?
the man had attempted to drag a woman out of her car at night point, and it's obvious that under those circumstances, emotions ran high, and the people used whatever instruments were available to effect the capture. That is a human reaction, I think quite understandable.
What sort of effect had the Night Stalker had on your own personal life as far as your actions at your own home?
Well, I think that what was especially important in this case was that in each of the instances it was an entry made through an open door and open window, and we were trying to get people to understand they must protect themselves by locking their doors and windows, and that's advice that can be followed not just during the stalker's escapades, but at all times.
Mayor, you said that he tried to drag a woman out of a car at knife point. Is that this morning? Is that what you've been told?
Yes.
Can you tell us what else you've learned about this?
That's as much as I can tell you.
You also said you'd been informed he will go to security at the hospital. Is that
Yes,
your
he's been
information at
injured,
this
and it's
point?
traditional that an injured suspect is taken to the hospital where he can receive treatment.
Do you know
How
how
many
severely he is
stations
injured, Mr. Mayor? Do you know how?
jurisdictions here to speak with them, including San Bernardino sheriffs. Do you know why?
There are cases throughout the state of California, and the officers who are involved in those jurisdictions obviously want to get their questions
Are you
in.
aware of specific ones in San Bernardino County?
No, I'm not.
Do you know how severe Mr. Ramirez's
No, I do
injuries
not
are, Mr.
know.
Mayor?
Okay, thank you very much, folks. I'm here to compliment our officers who did such a magnificent job in tracking this man down and finally effecting his arrest today.
Mr. Mayor?
Okay, clear out.
Stay back! Stay back! 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 Everybody back! Hang on! Connected. Everybody back! Get him in. Watch the gate. Okay, get back. Get back. Get back. Get in and then we'll move on. We're gonna hurt some people. Better. Camera that I get in my hand. Yours. Okay, move it out.
Make your way on the other side. Wait a minute, I'm still connected now. Hang on. Number one! Trying to shoot you. Silence! We're gonna move them out of here. But you all have to go back. Cannot get through the car. Please all move back. Cross the street this way. You get motorcycles on your cars? Yeah, they're doing it fast. Jesus Christ, I got an army in there. Like clowns getting out of a little fire engine at circus. Tunnels to bring those guys in. Okay, they have the doors open. Here, Bob, there. Stay back. Stay back. Stay back. Stay back. Stay back.
Only last night, authorities announced they had identified a prime suspect. Richard Ramirez, authorities said, has an arrest record for drug and auto theft, but no record for violent crime.
How many seconds do you need?
Only last night, authorities announced they had identified a prime suspect. Richard Ramirez, authorities said, has an arrest record for drug and auto theft, but no record for violent crime. He was identified.
Your Honor, the defendant has indicated to us that he does not wait time for that matter, and he is objecting to a further continuance in this matter.
All right, when I ask that we enter a plea of not guilty for the defendant, set down a preliminary hearing within 10 days.
That can only be done if the court allows us to sit in and entertain it.
It'd probably be done without either of these gentlemen. But if the defendant refuses to waive time, we must set down the preliminary hearing within 10 days. If he's not prepared to enter a plea at this time, I suggest the court enter a plea of not guilty to each and every count. I see that as the only alternative.
It's almost ironic. The court is asking us what we desire.
You're the one that his attorney.
To allow us to become attorneys of record.
His attorney has waived time.
We're more than glad to follow up and answer any questions the court has, and also to make any inquiries as to whether or not we're ready to plead.
As of this
we
time.
did advise the court in closed hearing, and now that the court has brought out the facts and a discussion in the closed hearing, that we would be ready perhaps today to enter a plea if we were brought in an attorney of record. The court has refused. Now the court is asking us to enter a plea. This is really absurd.
Excuse me, Your Honor. I wonder if we might ask Mr. Gallegos to confer with his client without the
I don't want to confer with him.
gentleman there. And perhaps he can at least advise Mr. Ramirez of his legal options. The gentleman standing there in front of Mr. Ramirez really have no standing before the
That's
court.
correct.
They're
They
not
do to me.
At this point, the court is only putting the matter over 2 days. If at that point there is no time waiver, matter would be set for preliminary examination within 8 days. Matter is recessed until October 24th, 8:30 in this court.
Is it 30 in the morning?
Yes.
We would like a minute order, Your Honor, that we would be allowed, Mr. Arturo Harris and myself, to visit.
I've already put that on the record. If you will meet me in chambers as soon as I finish these courts, we'll discuss the other matters.
Thank you, Your Honor.
25 Luis Naranjo.
Try to at least get an interview with the sheriff. Okay. I hope you're not shooting that crime truck.
Okay, can I have your full name and title, please?
Lieutenant Richard Olson, press officer for the Orange County Sheriff's Department.
All right, and what have we got here?
Well, basically at approximately 2:40 this morning, our desk officers received a call on the 911 emergency line from a female who stated that her boyfriend had been shot. Deputies responded to the residence here in Mission Viejo, found that there was a person who had been shot here. The female stated that she was waken up by gunshots in the residence, that there was a male intruder in the room who grabbed her and then sexually assaulted her, tied her up, and went through the house and then left the house. She managed to get free and call us on the 911 line. That's when our deputies and the paramedics responded. Both the female and the male have been taken to local hospitals here in Orange County.
Can you name the hospital?
The female was taken to Saddleback Community Hospital and the male was taken to Mission Community.
Were there any other witnesses other than the woman?
We're pretty early on in the investigation at this time, so I wouldn't be able to really comment on that. I don't believe so yet, though.
Could you just mention at what point in the investigation you're at this time?
Well, at this particular point, we have tried to interview the female and get as much as we can from her. The male is undergoing operation at this time, and the investigators are getting ready to go into the residence. They have received a consensual search, so they will go in to start gathering evidence.
Okay.
What's because I say,
Hey, Sid.
well,
Hi.
oh gosh,
You think you look beautiful.
yeah.
Can we talk to you?
Is that talk? I know nothing.
You didn't hear anything or anything?
I heard a woman cry, that's all. That's all.
What time was that?
I think it was between 1 and 2 o'clock. I didn't get up out of bed and I didn't look at the time because I thought the party, that's the end of the party.
They had a party?
Next door. Not there, I don't know about there.
Do you know those people, or they're new to the neighborhood?
They're new to the neighborhood, maybe years.
Oh, they've been here a year?
No, these are the next door neighbor.
Well, where that happened, it must be here a year, I guess.
Next door, it was quiet.
Yeah, it was quite party. Nou, yeah. It's not for Brazil.
You know nothing.
We thought the one from San Francisco was in Mission Viejo. now I think.
Does that scare you?
Oh, for sure.
Scared, that's the thing.
Yeah, but I take precautions. You will have a difficult time to get in.
You keep your windows and doors locked?
Not for him only, forever I've done it.
What about in the hot weather? You have an air conditioner? Or?
Yeah, a little one, it helps. I take everything like it comes. It's hot, when it's cold, it's cold.
So how do you feel about this happening in your neighborhood? Is it scary?
Well, I can't say I'm going to start laughing. It's a sad thing, yeah? But I don't know much of it. Is the guy dead? Well, that's a good thing already then.
Is he dead?
Mm-hmm.
Not that a different guy'd make it any better, but it might be a little more peace of mind to know that this was just an isolated incident.
An isolated incident from what?
Well, as compared to this other person who's been running around up in L.A., I think everybody's already freaked out enough about him. But
what do you think about all the press coverage? Do you think it's important that people know, or do you think it's a little overdone and
it's overdone, definitely.
Why do you think that?
I think it hinders the police somewhat. There's just too much stuff out, and if you would think if the guy's even a little bit intelligent, which he must be because he hasn't got caught yet, he probably reads the newspapers and watches TV too. That just gives him that much more area to work. He goes twice as many places if he thinks he's being concentrated in one area.
So you think what he's looking for is this kind of attention, and it just encourages him? Is that what you're saying?
What else would somebody like this want? He's not getting paid to do this. You don't stop doing it just because it's not fun anymore. It's got to be something.
Would you describe this neighborhood?
It's a real nice neighborhood. It's a real quiet neighborhood. It's real clean. I think everybody around here gets along real well. We don't have any real problems with, different factions of the neighborhood not cooperating with each other or anything like that. This really surprises me. I'm pretty shocked.
And did you know the people that were assaulted?
No, I didn't know them. I've probably seen them, but I didn't really know them.
And you didn't hear anything at all last night?
I didn't hear anything. No. We had some friends over till about 10:30. Stayed up till about 11:30, but once I went to bed, I was out. So I'm pretty surprised, yeah. We have a lot of traffic up and down the street because you can get through both ends of the street. And most of the local residents know that. So you kind of get used to, after a while, like we've been here, what, about 5 years now, and I think you get used to the traffic noise, so you don't pay so much attention to that anymore. You pay closer to attention to walking, because there's not a lot of people walking up and down the blocks in the evenings, especially in the daytime, but not at night. So if you happen to notice somebody out at night, you might be a little bit more noticeable of it. But other than that, it's a quiet neighborhood. We've never had any trouble at all, especially nighttime trouble.
This is the first in 11 years I live here.
Mm-hmm. And I imagine on that side of the street, there's quite a few people who've been here as long as her or longer, and I don't think they'd say the same thing, that there's never been anything like this. You know, so it's pretty weird.
Yeah.
Ma'am?
Glad everybody's alive.
Could you tell me exactly what you heard?
I heard only a woman cry. That's all. And nothing else. I was in bed.
Did you get up to see what?
No. No, because if there wouldn't have been a party, probably I would have gotten up to see what happens. But since there was a party going on next door, we thought, maybe they had a drink too much and some fight started. I didn't even hear a man's voice, just a woman crying. That's all. Can't say anything else.
Okay.
No, that's all right.
These guys said they're going to be here all day and night.
Approximately 0850 hours this morning, we received a call in the vicinity of Euclid and Garnet in the city in Hollenbeck Division. We had units respond to the location. They put out a crime broadcast that numerous citizens in that vicinity had seen a suspect matching the description of the so-called Night Stalker in the vicinity of that area, running through the houses. We set up a perimeter, dispatched units to the location. I coordinated the search, and approximately within 30 minutes, we apprehended the suspect in the 3700 block of East